Hello and welcome to Lessons with LeFever. Today, our objective is to analyze numerical patterns. Analyzing numerical patterns. Now, when we analyze numerical patterns, we have to pay attention to the numbers that we're presented with, or our starting point, and the rule that we are given. So for this problem, we're going to analyze two plants, plant number 1 and plant number 2. We see that we are recording the data based on the number of weeks. So we'll see the plant at where it starts, and then we will track its height through 4 weeks for both plants. For this problem, we're going to use the rule add 2 4/10 to complete the tables. So each plant will grow 2 4/10 inches each week. Let's start with plant number 1. At the beginning, plant number 1 was 3 1/10 inches in height. Now, if we use the rule, add 2 4/10 inches, at week 1, plant number 1 would then be 5 5/10. Now we're going to continue with this pattern. We're going to add 2 4/10 to 5 5/10, which will give us 7 9/10. Then again, we will use the same rule and apply it to week number 3. By the end of week number 3, the plant will be 10 3/10. And lastly, at the end of week number 4, the plant will be 12 7/10. Now you'll notice that the difference between all of these heights is 2 4/10 because each week the plant grew the same number of inches. Now let's look at number 2. For plant number 2, it started at 4 6/10 inches. Remember, we're using the same rule. Add 2 4/10 inches to 4 6/10 inches. So at the end of week number 1, plant number 2 would be 7 0/10 inches, or just 7 inches. At the end of week number 2, after we add 2 4/10 inches to 7 inches, we'll have 9 4/10 inches. At the end of week number 3, plant number 2 would be 11 8/10 inches. And finally, at the end of week number 4, plant number 2 would be 14 2/10 inches. This is pretty simple. We just analyze the patterns, and if we're given a rule, we apply the rule to the numbers that they give us in order to make a number sequence. And we'll see the pattern within the number sequence. Many times when you solve these type of problems, you'll have to figure out this question. What is the relationship between the heights of the plant, or the relationship of whatever it is you're comparing? It might not always be plants. You just may be comparing two sets of numbers. So what we have to do is compare the heights of both plants in any given week other than the starting point. So we can compare week 1, 2, 3, or 4. First, let's compare week 2. On week number 2, plant 2 was 9 4/10, and plant 1 was 7 9/10. So I want to find the difference between those two. So I'm going to subtract, which would give me 1 5/10. So the difference between plant number 2 and plant number 1 is 1 5/10 inches. That means plant number 2 is 1 5/10 inches taller than plant number 1. Now let's pick another week. Let's say we pick week number 4. In week number 4, plant number 2 was 14 2/10 inches, and plant number 1 was 12 7/10 inches. If we subtract that, we'll see that the difference in those two plants are 1 and 5/10 inches again. This is going to be a consistent pattern. If we continued and we found the difference in week number 1 and we found the difference in week number 3, we would see that the difference will also be 1 and 5/10 inches for those weeks as well. So the relationship is that plant number 2 will always be 1 and 5/10 inches taller than plant number 1. That is the relationship. How do the two numbers correspond to each other from the two different data sets? That is how you analyze patterns. Seems simple enough, but if you need help, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, you can post them down below in the comment section. Be sure to even like and subscribe to my page so that I can continue to help you and present you with lessons with LeFever. Thank you for watching.